All right, so we got, well, that's funny because my wife just let me know this week I'm annoying because every time I start one of these videos, you hear me say, all right. So it's like, pretty annoying. After 24 all right, so that's Friday. Pretty annoying. So, just to let you know, yeah, I started this one off too with an all right, so there you go. All right, so we got the very first step is the given. It's always the first step. And this is always your last. And I don't know if it's going to be 4th or 5th or 10th, right? But I know that it's going to be last. Okay? So my first step, number 1, right? Then I do this 2-column proof. So I have a number 1 over here, and it's always given. I mean, if you write this is partial credit right away. Just given, and take the first thing that's here. AD bisects angle BAC. Okay? And so, right there, you got 2 points out of 10. Okay? I mean, well, bam. Right? Okay. Hey, I can get 2 more points on the next problem. How? Number 1, flow. Right? I've got my flow chart started. It may not go anywhere yet, but I still have 2 points. So 2 and 2 is 4. That's a lot more than none. Right? So remember that. Okay? Very least, do this.
5 minutes, Dan.
5 minutes left? We can do this. Alright, so what does this tell me? This bisects this. What does that tell me when you bisect something?
Cut it in half.
Cut it in half. Good. So if I cut this angle in half, what's that telling me about 1 and 2? They're congruent. Yes. So those have to be equal because I cut that whole thing in half. So those have to be equal. So part 2 is, hey, that means angle 1 is congruent to angle 2. Why? Because I cut it in half, you told me. Right? So it's a definition of angle bisector. Very good. Okay? So it's an angle bisector. Anytime you bisect something, you cut it in half, you make 2 congruent parts. That's it. That's it. It's not hard. Alright. Let's go with the next part. What next? Oh, I don't know. Okay, so I don't know what else can go, so I'm going to grab the next one. Right? The next given. And so the next given is angle 1 is congruent to angle 3. Right? Why? Because it says so. And you get to say that to me for a change. Instead of be like, because I said so. Why do I have to do because I said so? Right? Then you can be like, because it says so. Right? I'm cool with that. Right? So given, because it says so. Alright. So
I know my sources aren't wrong.
We don't. Yeah. But it came from the test, so it should be right. So here's the thing. I could have my flow chart started, right? We went from 1 to 2, right? So I need to write that. I went from 1 to 2. And then I started at number 3 all by itself. 3 all by itself. Okay? And now I'm going to figure out 4. Now 4 is tough. It's not really that hard though. I mean, think about it. It's saying that 1 and 3 are congruent. It's saying this, that these 2 are congruent, right? Well, if 1 and 2 are congruent, right? And 1 and 3 are congruent, they all have the same thing, right? If these 2 are 35 degrees, and these 2 are 35 degrees, did that change the fact that these 2 are 35? No, it didn't change anything, right? They're the same, right? It's pretty simple. It's coming up with the reason why they're the same. Okay? So, the reason why they're the same is what we call or
Transgender
transitive,
property.
right?
Just gonna,
Transitive. Is that transitive? It's that one guy who's out on the street asking for food, right?
that one guy who used to be.
Oh, that's
girl.
a transient. Sorry, transient. No, transitive isn't when you're out there on the street playing your guitar trying to get your food. It's actually when you're trying to prove something. So it's actually,
That one
A-
guy who used to be a girl.
oh, yeah. Oh wait, that's a transsexual. Never mind. And it's almost transitive. Because if A equals B, right? And B equals C, yeah, then A equals the C. That could be transsexual, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. A equals C, right? So now this is the transitive property. I gotta make this fit it some way. The two things that are the same is B. So I just want to list this as B. Well, A and C, so I want this to be the proof. I want the proof to be angle 2 is congruent to angle 3, right? Oops, I can't just have 3 there. Angle 3. So I have to set this up so that angle 2 is A. Okay. And then this would be C. And then if A equals B and B equals C, then A equals C. And that's transitive. And so now I can put in my fourth step, and how did I get there? Well, I got there using these two guys, right? So I used 2, and I used 3 to get to 4. Okay? So, not that bad, not that hard. 4 steps. Alright? Questions?